Guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and in today's video, I'm going to do an unboxing and first impressions of the very popular Polycom VVX 350. Before I get into this, just understand that we actually got this phone courtesy from VOIP Supply. If you look below this video, we have supplied a link to their website so you can learn more about who VOIP Supply is and how they can help you with all things voice over IP for your business. So with no further ado, let's get into the unboxing and see what's in the box. All right, so it looks like here's the phone itself. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. Looks like we got a kickstand. That's what that looks like there. Obviously the cord that connects the handset to the actual phone itself in the box. And then the actual handset itself. So, let's see what else we got in here. Also got a, looks like a Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable here to connect the phone to your router or switch or whatever you may have in your office. And then it looks like we have a little manual here of sorts. Yeah, it basically says connector cables here, optional headsets. Talks about how to connect your desktop stand, additional features that the phone has, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and put this thing together. There she is, ladies and gentlemen, the Polycom VVX 350. That is a beauty right there. Basically, to kind of quickly run through these features, before we get into that, this is actually a super popular phone. I have, as you guys know, represent many voice over IP service provider carriers in the United States. So I've seen people of many different industries and sizes of business pick many different phones, ranging from Polycom, Yealink, you name it. The VVX 350 is one of the most popular phones next to the Polycom VVX 250 that we see most people choose. Quick rundown of some of the features. As you can see, it's got a 6-line capability there. It's got your 4 function keys here below the screen. Got your typical navigational panel, just like any other Polycom does, or most phones these days. Your home screen and then your back key. You know, it's pretty typical what it has in regards to the buttons of the layout. One of the big things about this Polycom and most of the Polycoms is it's got the HD voice. As you can see there, it's got the signature Polycom HD voice thing. Now, for some of you who are watching, you might be thinking, oh, my phone's got HD voice. Let me tell you guys, there's nothing like Polycom HD voice. There's HD voice on phones, and then there's Polycom HD voice. There is a difference. We're not going to cut this screen on today, but as you can see, it's got a pretty decent screen. It's basically a color LCD screen. I do not believe it's touchscreen. I'm not sure whether it's touchscreen or not, but we're going to cover that and many more features of this in depth in a later video. I'm going to actually hook this thing up to our voice over IP service in the office, and then I'm going to do a more in-depth video, pros and cons, and go through the actual menu and the features and so on and so forth. This is just a little unboxer teaser. Let's see what's on the back of this thing so we can see what kind of ports it's got at first glance. So for ports, you've got a network port there. I think I actually put that into the wrong spot. Yes, I did. Me of all people, I should know better. This actually goes into your phone port. So that's for your handset. As you can see, it's got one of those Polycom analog style kind of sort of proprietary headset jacks. I don't personally like those, but you know, some people prefer them. I personally prefer Bluetooth or like your standard headset jack, like a 8mm or something like that. It's also got 2 gigabit ports on it. As you can see, there is one for your network, the one on the far left that has the network looking symbol, and then the one with the little PC or what looks like a desktop computer there. That is a pass-through, which is also gigabit to go to like another device, like if you've got a network printer nearby or a computer. Really popular in deployments where you need a lot of phones, but you don't really have enough ports, or you don't run cable. What's otherwise known as a gigabit pass-through port there. You can also see you've got your power cord here, but this is also a PoE capable phone, so you don't have to use this power cable. If you've got a PoE switch in your office, you can utilize that if you so choose. As you can see here, the kickstand here has a variable settings, so you can set it in this groove here, or you can set it down there if you want it to lay kind of more flat, or if you want the phone to, actually sit up at a higher or lower angle. I prefer it to be at a higher angle so that I feel like I'm looking at the phone face on. Some people who may be taller or maybe sitting in an office chair that may be higher, or their desk is slightly lower, may want it to sit lower so that they can be kind of looking down on the phone. But I tend to sit kind of level, with my desk not too far above waistline. So I prefer it on the lower kickstand. Wanted to take a look at the speakerphone here really quick. For those of you who don't know, I already mentioned Polycom utilizes the Polycom HD voice technology. For those of you who've owned a Polycom before, that's probably not any older than maybe 5 or 6 years old. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I actually have an older VVX 300, which is a much older phone than this. It's about a 6-year-old phone. And even on that phone, which uses Polycom's, patented signature HD voice technology, when I use the speakerphone, it quite literally sounds like someone is actually sitting on the edge of my desk or in the room with me talking to me. It sounds like real life almost. So for those of you who are watching this who may, really like a high quality speakerphone, Polycom is the way to go. And the 350, the VVX 350 definitely, has that level of quality. Another thing I wanted to point out really quickly is this USB port that you can see here. See, with the older Polycoms, they typically only had the old analog kind of RJ11 style headset jack, which I showed you guys earlier, this right here, which really limits you to the types of headphones and things like that are available on the market for your phone. I guess Polycom answered the call, because now they have an actual USB port built into most all of their phones, as I think most manufacturers of IP phones do these days. Not only can you put a USB style compatible headset into this, which opens up your options greatly from having to be stuck with only headsets that use this type of analog thing, you can also use this USB port to do things such as charge your cell phone. And there's even ways within the software within this phone where you can actually connect this thing to an external hard drive, kind of like a solid state external hard drive or a regular, platter disk drive or something like that, to be able to actually record phone calls and back them up. Again, I'm not going to get into all of these details today. I'm going to do a more in-depth review of this phone at a later date with it connected to service and go through it piece by piece. So that pretty much sums it up for my unboxing of the Polycom VVX 350 and my first impressions. In my hands, it feels like a very solid phone. For those of you who are familiar with another brand out there called Yealink, which we actually like, and I actually own a Yealink, and I've got many customers that own it. They're nice phones, but the Polycoms tend to seem more solid. The screen on it seems really nice. I like how the screen on this phone is not, I don't know how to describe it. On the older Polycoms, which I have and which many people out there do, a lot of people don't like how the screen is sort of depressed. Like on this one, the screen is almost flush with the actual bezel around the actual screen chassis. So I like that. It seems like the screen is level with everything instead of depressed, which was a thing on the older ones that a lot of people didn't like, especially when you were in darker settings and needed for that light to come out of that screen area and be able to illuminate so that you could see the screen. First impressions, it's really solid, high quality phone. This phone, I want to say typically, I believe, retails approximately for, I want to say around anywhere from 115 to ranging as high as 130 and maybe higher. High quality phone, worth the money. If you're interested in this phone, I have included below this video a link to this phone on VOIP Supplies, VOIP Supplies website. Again, they're the ones who sent us this phone for review and first impressions. If you don't already have voice over IP service and are interested in what voice over IP carriers are compatible with this phone, give me a call. I represent all carriers in the United States. Again, I'm going to do a separate video later of an in-depth review, pros and cons of this phone actually powered on and hooked up to VoIP service. Prince Rich, your go-to guy for the best deals on business phone and internet service in the United States. We'll talk to you guys again in the next video.